Hi there and welcome to my channel. I must admit up front this is the first time I've done this, and it's deliberately a video to try and get a reply from people, a question, because I'm confused. Anyway, here we go. My grandson, who is 5, loves this, Hairy McClary's Bone. And it's a charming story of Hairy McClary and all his dog pals, and very simple language, often rhyming. Hungrily sniffing and licking their chops, they followed him up past the school and the shops. Now he's 5, and the reading age for this is possibly 3 to 7. 7. And I thought, I wonder if he'd like this. It's 7 to 10-year-old reading age. It has that crossover. I got this in a thrift shop. As soon as I saw it, it just evoked memories when I was growing up. I remember reading Rupert. Beautiful artwork. My wife's got her own copy of one of these. It was in a newspaper called the Daily Express, British. A couple of things just to talk about this. First of all, the stunning artwork, obviously. But also, no one is mentioned here having penned all this. No mention of him. Who did it? It's also quintessentially British. So you have this world in which bears and animals are side by side with humans. And they're having this constant to and fro. It's also the use of language is very British. And of course you've got bobbies, policemen. So it's just charming. And it just reminds me of my childhood. Now, reading age. Each page would have come out in the newspaper, and then you'd have to get the next newspaper the next day or whatever, next week, to carry on with the story. But here they've put them together because it's the annual. And each time you get the story, the child, 7, 8 years old, would follow this bit. It's rhyming couplets. So, for instance, they steer their sailing boat with care and come close to the little bear. We'd like a lift, is Rupert's plea. Of course, jump in, the twins agree, and so on. Quite simplistic language. But then they'd have this. Just going to read it out. The rabbit twins steer their boat very cleverly, and soon they are running smoothly alongside the riverbank, while Rupert shouts and explains that he and Bill have a long way to go up the river and please could they have a lift. That's one sentence. The sailors are only too glad to be able to do their pals a good turn and quickly work their boat to the shore so that going aboard is quite an easy matter. I'm not sure you'd get language like that in a children's book today. Now, I've looked this up. Has the language of children's books dumbed down over the years to become more accessible? And you will find articles, if you search that, things will come up with Goodreads from 10, 15 years ago, and it seems then the common consensus was yes, there is some concern from people who had potentially become adults and parents got their own children, that they don't seem to be reading the same level of text that was read to them when they were children. And I can honestly say, I don't think you'd find this published anymore. Not for 7, 8-year-olds. It's amazing. So, is this universal? Am I correct or am I completely wrong? Because I don't know enough about language and language acquisition for children. I've never taught primary, I taught senior. And I must admit, when I was at senior, they were able to do philosophy by the time I got hold of them. And I know that on my other channel, with my mate Steve's got the same feeling. That he's got books from when he was a child, and he's shown me, and the language is definitely not what it would be now. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, or it's just neutral. There must have been a reason why there was a shift. Perhaps it was felt that children weren't getting the language that was being given to them. Although if you read the comments on Goodreads and whatever, it's like saying if a child was curious, they would ask, and you can tell them that's how they learn. If we don't expose children to the language that's in here, and my wife's had a look at it, She is a teacher of the English language, and she was saying, yeah, there's certain words in here that you would not necessarily now assume a 7 to 10-year-old would come across in books. Perplexity. So it's amazing, and I don't know what to make of it. So, cheekily, over to you. Do you have any thoughts on this? Because I would be very interested to know whether, in fact, there has been a slide over time and I've not noticed it. It's only, I guess, now when my own children, that I was reading to them probably 25 years ago. My youngest, Lucy's 28 now. My oldest is 32. But their children, I'm starting to read, well, certainly to my grandson who lives with me, read to him regularly. And I've not thought about it. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. But I just think that with Rupert the Bear, which was for children, 7 to 10, would that now be for children 7 to 10 if it was published today? Tentatively, ta-ta for now.